Okay.
Yeah, that was supposed to be scheduled. That was an oops.
Okay.
Sorry, babe.
All right.
Yeah, apparently I didn't schedule properly.
All righty.
And it said go live. So I said, okay.
Let me get pulled up here.
And while you do that, I'm going to find my phone. It is a little dark in there, babe.
Yeah, he'll be all right. Yeah, I'll have to replace that.
I
But
mean,
that's
look
a,
at the screen.
that's
It's
the
a
middle
little dark
ones.
on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did I do with my phone?
I don't know.
I may need to go find it. So
Find
you
it.
talk to them while I whoops.
All right. I was getting the chat pulled up where I can read it.
Yeah, you
Hey,
talk
everybody.
to
Hope
them.
everybody's doing all right tonight.
This one broke on this side too.
Hope everything's going well. Yeah, it's broke. We'll have to fix it.
Both
Go,
of them.
go find your phone.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Mark D, how you doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing all right. Not getting soaking wet. It looks like the rain has held off here today in Alabama, or this part of Alabama anyway. It has come a rain every evening. Big rains. I hadn't been able to work in the fields or touch nothing much this week, and I still need to plant watermelons and cantaloupes and sweet potatoes. But I may get that chance tomorrow before that other storm system comes in. It looks like about dinner, so I may have to get up at daylight and plant by hand, but it won't be the first time I've done it. So.
Turn this light on over here, see if that helps.
Okay. I hope everybody's doing okay. Hope you're doing okay, Mr. Mark. And
Does that help at all?
yeah, it gave a little more light. Yeah,
Yeah.
it gave a little more light. Hey, Misty, how you doing?
Where's my? There's no chat.
There you go.
There we
You
go.
have to turn it on.
It's supposed to already be set that way.
Well, I think when you went on a while ago, you went
I
another
think when
way.
I messed it up,
But you're good
All
to
right.
go now.
Mr. Bell's here. Hey,
Hey,
Misty.
Mr. Bell, how you doing?
Hey, Mark D.
Sister, you're going to have to calm down.
I know she's
Calm
well.
down. Calm down. You want to bring that a little closer to us?
I can. It's where it's always sat.
I thought it was a little closer.
Okay.
It kind of keeps the animals slowed down in between us a little bit.
That better.
Yeah, that's better.
You see
But you
now
did
they
have-
can see all my
Well,
garbage.
now I can see my good belly, too. Yeah, I'm contrary today. I'm sorry.
Apparently, is that better? They can still see it.
Misty always says I'm real nice. You just don't know.
You don't know.
Bulldog can come out in a hurry,
Um,
especially in this society we're living
it's
in
more
now.
like a Chihuahua.
Huh?
So this is more like the Chihuahua.
Who?
Right now.
Oh.
This ain't the hidden bulldog. This is the Chihuahua. Part Chihuahua.
Now, most of the time I'm very good natured most of the time.
Me too. Me too.
So I hope everybody's had a good week. Like I said, it's been pouring down rain here
Yep.
just about every day. And so I hadn't got much done outside this week.
I got 36 plus 36. That's what, 72 sweet potato plants I got to get planted
Yeah.
because they're still sitting in 6-packs.
Yeah, I'll do it
And
tomorrow.
I've got several tomatoes still that I need to plant. And I ain't even planted a bean.
And beans, we're good on beans right
No,
now.
we're not. I need beans to chop up and stir fry.
Babe, we got plenty of time to plant beans. What I'm saying.
But I want them now.
But anyway, we can plant beans all the way to August.
Well, I mean, I know that. And we'll have to plant them again because they'll run out.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Mr. Beasley. Glad you made it in.
Hey, David, how you doing? Glad to see everybody tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even get to make a announcement, so
Mm-mm.
she forgot to. So
I forgot to.
Yeah.
Don't you have the other phone? I done showed you how and everything.
yeah. Well, I was cooking a supper. So
Mr. Dennis Conroy. Hey, y'all.
How's it going? Glad to have you.
So I come off work running, of course. Got off at 5:30, but I had a visitor that kept me there till 6:30, telling me about all the different things that was going on for our county extension office. So got some changes in people, but not policies. They're hoping. Oh my goodness. Yeah, way to go, Beth.
Yeah, I've got that whole.
Shooting crows this morning, pulling out the empty ammo cartridge in his pocket. Oh, Mark D actually got a notice this time.
We got a notice.
Mhm.
Did you just put it on?
Misty said, Junior said, are you sure y'all ain't sisters? Uh-oh.
Sisters. Oh, you or her?
I guess.
I might be, Ken.
We might
You
be.
need to ask her what some of the
Yeah.
names are back in their lineage.
Yeah.
Because from North Georgia to where they live in East Tennessee ain't that far. Really.
Well, and some of my folks is in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And don't forget that
Hey.
Eastham Hill bunch.
Sister, you got to calm down.
Well, let's see. Crow soup. That's right.
Nah.
No.
I'm going to pass on the crow. All right. Nope. Let's go. Yep.
You
There
got to
you
flip
go.
her up like a baby. She knows what she knows the routine, Daddy. You're not doing it. No, she's just excited I'm home.
Yeah, it's been warm here. Humidity's been up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It has definitely been interesting weather here.
Yeah.
Her dad is from Savannah.
oh, okay. Well, that's South Georgia, though.
Mhm.
But
I don't think I have any kinfolks in Savannah. Let's see. Mark D never had any crows himself.
yeah, because you're from Northwest Georgia, the Rome area, Cedartown area,
Cedartown, yep.
which is basically on the Alabama
Mhm.
line.
But the Turners and whoever the rest of Mama's people, I can't remember their names now. You know what? I want to say there's an Ingram in there.
Interesting.
That is interesting. So Mama's people from Virginia down, just like your people.
Yeah, I had some people from Tennessee.
That's on Mama's side. And then,
My grandma Landers and them are from Tennessee.
Daddy's side, good Lord. I don't know a lot of Daddy's side. I know Grandma's side on Daddy's side, which is his mama's side. They that's the well, it's not the Young bunch, but it kind of is because they followed the Youngs.
Until you're kin to the Smith, so you're already kin to half the nation.
Yeah. Granny was a Smith, so
So that's one of the top English names
Mhm.
is Smith.
yep. All right, let's see. I was at Hollins Monday, total washout. Yeah.
Y'all
Mr.
go at
Bell.
nighttime? Or did you
And
go
then-
camping?
If it ain't red, leave it in the shed. That's it.
There you go.
That's it. Gotta be red power. And Discover Sasquatch. Hey y'all, how y'all been? We're
Hey,
glad
Chris.
you made it on, Mr. Chris.
Glad you're back out and about, Chris. Good to see you, man.
Yep.
And hello, pulling videos.
That's the one that I was. If it ain't red.
Well,
Yeah.
I wish I'd known you was down there, Mr. Bale. I'd rode down there for a few minutes and visited
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, we're gonna do some videos on tractors at some point.
Yeah, I got to do some on the farm off.
And if you just get them filmed, where I don't have to edit, we'll upload them.
I try to do stuff where you don't have to edit. Excuse me, I can't even talk from
Yeah,
me.
I know.
That video
All
I
my
done
stuff
this
has to
week
be.
was straight on through.
Well, all yours usually are, because I just leave the mistakes.
You just
in
had to
there.
add that little bit from. Well, hold on, I almost said her name. I got. Ooh,
Yep.
From our neighbor.
Can't do that.
So,
Let's see.
had to
Gonna go
catch
eat
myself.
supper. We just ate ourselves. That's part of why we're running too. I ran in. Mark had already had dinner fixed, and I was quite happy about that. And came in smelling garlic bread. It was like awesome. All right.
I slept late today. I usually, when I work off on Friday mornings, I usually get up back up about 10, 11 o'clock and start. I got up, moved in here to the couch for a few minutes,
And went back to sleep.
and fell asleep on the couch or just recliner, whatever you want to call this thing, and woke up at 3:30. So,
Mr. Beasley said he's got corn and beans. Corn's about 6 inches tall and needs to dry up a little so we can cultivate.
yeah.
It's going to be another repeat of last year, sir. We're going to have flooding again. So good luck.
We don't know if we will or not.
Got a feeling.
Actually, it shows once rain tomorrow and Monday, it shows all the rest of the week dry.
But that's the rest of the week.
But
right as it dries up, here'll be more rain.
Well, there's always possible. Sister,
Let's see.
Yeah. All right, let's get in the baby position. Come in.
That booger pushing the plow. That's it.
Come in.
That's it.
Oh, no mercy.
Need to have the booger pushing the plow for real.
You bad as a human, baby.
It's worse.
All right,
and
now.
you ain't situated like you're supposed to be, so.
All right, that better? Lord have mercy.
It's awful. So what is this Blue Man people are seeing on your hunting club?
Oh, okay. Let me.
Yep.
And I'm planning on doing a video on that. I need to go to the location, what I really need to do. That way you kind of get the feel for it. That's one reason I like to go to where the sightings were from. That way you get a feel from it. And some of them I'm not going to be able to do that, but some of them I will be able to. But Blue Man probably is a Bigfoot, more than likely, that has lost hair. That's the only thing I can really come up with.
It's not really blue. It's more of a gray, isn't it?
Well, they say when you first, the three witnesses, one coon hunter at night, a deer hunter during the day, and Jonathan Odom walking down that road. And when he walked across the road in front of Jonathan about 50 yards, and Jonathan said the thing didn't even care he was there. We know it's around 7 foot tall, 7.5. He's in that group. We know that he's naked because people were able to see genitals. We know he doesn't have much hair. So blue could be really he's gray, but in a certain light he may look blue looking because gray and blue kind of go together. If you kind of how you say what's the how sometimes even in our car colors at work sometimes
blue looks black.
I mean
and black looks blue.
Yeah, they can mix them colors but he kind of looks bluish looking.
David said he'll help you with the tractor videos.
Okay, yeah. Need to do some on your tractor too. You got some pretty tractors down there. And man, I've seen a good deal on one other day, David.
Back to the Blue Man.
And by the way, Danny Deloach got his Super A for sale, so you might need to go see him. Danny might not like me saying that on this, but he won't care. He won't care. Because it's in good shape. If I didn't already have one, I'd go probably buy that one. But the coon hunter that seen him was a younger guy that was in the club with us. He had been coon hunting, and this is seen in a general area. Road number 9 on our hunting club. We also call it by another name on that hunting club. It's down in our creek bottom. Probably the biggest creek on the club.
That's not Meth Mountain Road, is it?
No. David knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He already knows what I'm describing.
Yeah.
But because it comes toward his house. So
Mr. Greg House made it in.
Hey Greg, how you doing? Done real good last night, Greg. Enjoyed listening to you. Anyway, the coon hunter was in there in that creek bottom. His dogs had treed over across that creek up on the side of the hill. He went to his dogs. Some of the same scenarios that me and Keith has went through, where the boogers didn't end up being right there with us while I was coon hunting. He heard a racket. He already had his light shining up the tree, so he just zoomed around with his light, and he hit this thing. It was I don't know how close. I think he told me it was in 30, 40 foot of him. So this is very close. He got a very good look at it. He described it as an old looking man in the face, very old, wrinkled up skin, and he called it blue color. He said, hardly any hair on it. You as a man, because seen genitals, real skinny. And he said what he meant was real skinny. He meant, like it was hurting for food. When he hit it with the light, of course, scared him half to death. Him and his buddy grabbed the dogs and took off. I think it turned around and went back up the hill.
No.
I didn't know about that for a while.
No.
That was kind of kept quiet from me.
No.
And how it got stirred up was when the deer hunter had his sighting over in the same general area, sitting up in the tree stand, getting close to dark. He was listening to something easing up behind him. Wasn't thinking about no Bigfoot or nothing.
Nope.
Or whatever this is. And I'm pretty sure it's a type of Bigfoot. Unless it's a new type cryptid that ain't nobody talking about, which, I mean, it is possible. But he finally, whatever it was, stepped out into the hardwood bottom he was in. And I think he was looking at it from about 25, 30 yards, which is still pretty darn close. This thing stopped and looked right at him. He described the same thing, kind of a real tall, lanky, looked like it needed to eat. He said bluish color, man or male, genitals. Yeah, whatever. It looked at him for a second, turned, and went back the way it came. Of course, he come bailing out of the tree and left, kind of like what you did, Greg. He took off, left. The thing didn't follow him, though. Or if it did, he didn't know it. He said it kind of had the old man look to it in the face. So that's two hunters. This was about 2 years apart. And then this deer hunter went to talking to me about it. That's when he also brought up that he had talked to the coon hunter, and the coon hunter told him he'd seen the same thing. So that's when I called the coon hunter, and me and him talked, and he told me about it. So on down the road, which was probably 5 or 6 years in between that, is when Jonathan Odom was walking down that road real slow, early in the morning, I think, during the middle of summer. He parked a good piece away and walked in there. He just walked down that road real slow. Said he'd wish he'd had a camera going. And this thing come out from the creek bottom, crossed the road in front of him. He said about 50 yards. And he said the same thing. It had a bluish color, not much hair. He didn't really get to see the face because it never turned and looked at him. And it just went on in the woods and went up in the woods. He eased on down to that area. Now, that area also is where me and Keith think at different times they have bedded up.
Be safe, Misty.
What's
I wasn't going to interrupt.
Oh.
Keep going.
So that's the blue man. I've never have seen him. I never have. Nobody else in the club's ever brought him up. But he seems to hang out over in the area that me and Keith, Tyler, thinks where they bedded up a good bit. There's a place on the club, about 250 acres. Nobody hardly hunts. There is one guy now hunting beside it. He's not hunting in there. He's hunting beside it. And he's killed a few deer out of there. But, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, these are three credible witnesses to me. In fact, the deer hunter got out of the club. He said he wasn't hunting up there no That guy left that year. He finished up his membership and hadn't been back. The coon hunter's no longer in there, but he stayed on in there for a while. But he said he got very leery turkey hunting up there. And that's when I went to telling him what all else was going on. He said, well, that explains why I hear stuff up here. It explains why my dogs quit hunting sometimes up here. And he said, I've heard stuff after we've left the tree, around the tree area. Because sometimes he was like me, he didn't kill every coon he come across. So he started seeing what I was saying and realizing I was, telling him, you've been experiencing them, you just didn't know it. Just like me, prior to finding out they were on the club, I was experiencing them. Me and other people just didn't really know what we were experiencing. So that's the Blue Man.
All right, well, let me catch you up on comments. Cryptic Crystal said hello. Mr. Flat Rock has made it in the house. David, Misty has gone to the neighbor's house to take care of their dogs. She'll be back in a minute. Mark D said, thank you for the explanation. Sounds like a booger.
Yeah.
Misty is having salad and mini chicken sandwich because Greg asked what she was having for dinner.
Okay.
And let's see. And David, on the color, are you looking for the word merge? Where they merge the two colors together.
That may be it.
So there you're caught up on the comments where they're not just talking to each other, that is, but
Well, I think it's an older one, what I'm thinking. In my brain, I think he's older.
Or mange.
And either mange, but I think he's older.
Have you ever noticed how mange seems to change skin color too?
Sister. Woo! All right, you fishing go outside. Get down. Thank you. That's enough.
Sit.
Sit down.
Sit. Sit.
Sorry about that, y'all. I just sometimes. Whew.
Sister, the wild child tonight.
Yeah. Well, you ain't been home today,
I
so
know.
she's excited.
And she didn't get to run it out before we got on the live.
Right. So, I just think he's old. He stays in that general area. They may feed him. They may bring something back to him. I don't know. So, I need to go sit up in that area some because there is a lot of tree knocks going on in that area. And one reason me and Keith thinks that's a bad area because nobody hunts in there. It's real thick. But the times I have walked through there, I've got growled at. I've had limbs break. And like I said, we hear tree knocks in that area. It'd be a very good place for one to set up to raise some young ones or little ones because it's real thick. It's got water right there in it, and nobody hunts it. So,
Cryptic Crystal said that blue people lived in West Virginia. The Fugates family.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I don't know. I'm I'm thinking more. I'm thinking more of a Bigfoot that's just old and his skin. But I mean, who's to say? I mean, I don't know.
Mr. Beasley says, Mark, I'm looking at a partially restored Alice Chambliss. I'm assuming that's what Alice CA is.
Yeah, AC.
Oh, he put Alice CA.
Yes, so that's the type of tractor, CA.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Full set of cultivators and an Alice 2-row planter. It's got the frame weights that are rare as hen's teeth.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Cryptic Crystal said genetic traits through blood and sometimes inbreeding.
True. David, that if you found one with full set of cultivators in the planter, it's worth looking at.
With the wheel weights?
Yeah, all that, I would definitely be looking at it. You don't find many of the AC tractors with their parts no more, with planters and cultivators. There's a WD-45 up North Alabama I'd love to go look at with a full set of cultivators on it. I need to go up there and look at it. So, guys not wanting much for it. So, what many people don't realize, the two main tractors that were in this area back in the 1930s and 40s and 50s were Internationals and ACs and some Fords. John Deere didn't get really real popular in this area till probably in the 50s. Which I mean, my grandfather had a John Deere implement dealership at one time before, not in the 1920s and 30s, but most of his stuff was stuff that you would pull with horses. I don't think he ever had tractors. They did have a John Deere dealership later on in Childersburg because one of my mama's brother-in-laws, which would be my uncle, was the mechanic there. When he come home from, I think, the Korea War, he become a John Deere mechanic. But so I like ACs. They're a very good tractor. Some of their equipment wasn't very well designed. Some of their cultivators would break very easy in the field. They didn't build them like International or John Deere where they have spring trip on them. But I always love the color. That Persian orange is beautiful. You get one of them painted and got the decabs on it with the white rims. That's a beautiful tractor. And very strong tractors. Daddy and him had a WD-45, and he said it outpulled. He'd hate to say it, but he said it outpulled the Super M. So he said it was a stronger tractor. But he said the equipment on it, like the plows and stuff, wasn't as good as the International. So and all tractors are that way. They all have their good points and bad points. But yeah, I'm definitely going to buy me one of these days. I'd just like to have me a WD-45. And I've could have bought them all over the years. I wish I would have. Just a very nice tractor. So, all right. So we talked about Blue Man a little bit. We talked about
I've been
AC
sitting
tractor.
here reading about the Blue family.
Oh, about it.
Apparently, it is a blood disorder.
I have seen it before. I believe up somewhere in the Appalachians is where it was.
Well, it's West Virginia, and then they moved to Kentucky.
Okay.
Hazard, Kentucky. And then there's also people in Alaska with it too. It says a similar phenomenon among Native Alaskans.
Well,
so it's an oxygen deficiency in the red blood cells, causing the blood to appear brown, which in turn made the skin of those affected appear blue.
No, sister. Just stay on the floor. You can.
Which is interesting.
So, we know with some of the. No, sister. She's trying to.
She's going to do it. Might as well just let her on
Let
up.
me get my foot up in the way.
It's interesting.
With some of the studies on DNA that's been being done, Scott Carpenter talks about this a good bit. A few years ago, they done the Sasquatch DNA, where they're checking hair, they're checking the saliva, they got a hold of blood. All right, let's get in your baby position. Lord have mercy. All right. Anyway, they were, they come back and said, it had human DNA in it, which was from a female human. The male DNA, they did not know. The nuclear in it was different. Of course, they're doing the dog man DNA right now. So, I don't know. All right, we got to get comfortable here. You killing me. Anyway, this is about like a 3-year-old right here. She is about 3 years old. But, so, there could be some of those genetics in them. It's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say. And I don't know. And while I'm thinking about it, I know I mentioned it on this past week's video. If any of y'all watched the Bigfoot Society. My cousin was on there this past week, John Burton, telling about what he saw in North Carolina and some of the stuff that he experienced here in Alabama. Y'all go check that out. It's on Bigfoot Society. It was Sunday or Monday night, and I didn't even know he was on there. Only reason I noticed it said something about Alabama man has encounters, and then right below it said something about a hunter, torn apart by a tree stand. I said, well, that rings a bell. It sounds like Hollins, Alabama. So I went and listened to it, and it was my cousin John. And hopefully one day I'll have him on. John's got a lot of stuff that he has witnessed, heard, because he likes to take a lot of long walks in the woods. He's always putting out beautiful pictures. He gets way back in the national forest and other places. He's got permission to get on a lot of private land because a lot of people know him, and he's experienced a lot of stuff.
Well, let me catch you up in the comments again.
Okay.
So apparently that is in Estonka, Florida. Estonka Flat Rock. Okay, I'm not sure now. David Beasley said Estonka Flat Rock. Not sure what that means. I thought it said Florida. E-pulling videos. We used to have CA here for years. Trouble free, even doing hay. Misty said, don't forget the thumbs up. David said he's mostly an IH guy. Rex Goodrum. Hi, by the way.
Hello, Rex.
Thanks for watching. Told Greg good job last night. Mark D's only John Deere he's ever fooled with are skidders and lawnmowers. David Beasley, hope we can do some camping with Richard again once it cools back off. E-pulling videos, he's full-blooded IH. The CA had a reputation of jumping out of gear. Everybody said, hey, Rex. Ours never did, thankfully. The CA. Cryptic Crystal, Dogman DNA going to be very interesting. Yeah. Mark D said Dogman is one he hopes to never meet.
Me too.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to go last Saturday like I wanted to, out with Jonathan and them out to the Tideninka National Forest. He did tell me they had some weird things go on, and he was going to call and explain it to me. That was Monday or Tuesday when I texted him.
And then
he said there was some weird stuff went on.
E-pulling and David continue talking about tractors. That's probably the best way to sum that up.
Oh, yeah.
He knows some Beasleys in North Carolina that are big IH folks. That is. David Beasley says the only thing he dislikes about the older ACs is they aren't comfortable to sit on. Your knees are up higher than your ears, and he's a short guy. Flat Rock said Holland seems to always be active. Great place to camp.
Yeah.
Mark D said, I don't think I've ever heard of any good encounters with dogmen. I haven't heard of any good encounters either. David Beasley, yes, it is. Richard asked about you last week when he came up. And E-Pullen says, no way to Dogman. Yeah. So now we're caught up on them comments again. And like Misty did say, y'all don't forget, hit the thumbs up button.
Yeah.
Share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
If y'all got any questions right now, a good time to do it. So.
And we take questions all through the week. Make sure you find my Facebook page, Mark's Facebook page, the farm's Facebook page. Put them on comments on any video that you want to talk about during our live. We've got to get better about putting the community post up, announcing the live the day before. That way you can comment on there. But we are here to talk about anything and everything from homesteading to Bigfoot, paranormal, gardening. We'll talk about work, cooking. We don't care to talk about chitlins since Spencer's not here. Spencer gets back on. We'll talk about chitlins for him. Chitlin. He don't like chitlins, y'all. It's a running joke. I don't either. But yeah, we'll talk about any topic.
Spencer much this week.
He's been busy, I think, this week. So
I asked him if he got his shirt. We finally got it mailed to him. Did
you?
but I don't know if he got it or not yet. So.
Let's see. Got a fully restored 560D he's really proud of, David Beasley said.
Yeah, it's a
Mark
pretty
D
tractor.
said, wonder how old boogers can actually get. That's a good question. Oh, I didn't know that's what that was. Estonco is hello in Muskogee Creek.
Okay.
I don't know what that was. Thank you. Janelle's made it on now.
Hey, Janelle. And anybody that I hadn't spoke to, hello.
Yeah, I think we spoke to everybody now.
Okay. Because I like to knowledge
Mhm.
everybody.
And I usually read the comments and let Mark do a lot of talking.
I try to acknowledge everybody on the YouTube channel too when people start commenting. Sometimes I'll let them build up for about a day before I comment, but once I go in there, so.
Which, for those of you that may not know, Mark has his own YouTube page he comments from. So Mark Plowboy Green is him. And if you see Cedar Creek Bottoms Farmstead comment, that's usually going to be me. But I also put Dash Becca out beside my comment. So.
Let's see. I was trying to think. It was something on my tip of my tongue a while ago, and I forgot it now.
Paranormal, chitlins,
No,
squirrels,
no.
T-shirts.
Let's see. We talked about it. Did get that mail dispenser.
That's where I went back to.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Misty is going to do Woodwalkers this weekend. So
that's right.
Y'all be sure to support Misty on that. Spencer
This would be a good weekend for me to be on her show. It'd be just me and her. Oh my goodness! Only I'll be at work.
Do it from work.
You know?
That wouldn't go over well.
It would not go over
It
well.
wouldn't go over well. No. All kidding aside, y'all go support her Sunday. Show her some support. And, I know she can do it. And I know she stays quiet a lot of times on the interviews a little bit. I know Misty can. I know she can handle it.
Oh yeah, she can handle it.
So
Team Misty.
So y'all go support her Sunday.
I'm not Team Misty or Team Spencer. I'm Team Mark. So I got told.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you told me. You told me I was Team Mark. So because I said I wasn't either one, and I said I was Team Me or something. You said no, you better be Team Mark. So you need to slow down. I do need to slow down.
Yeah.
This full-time working is for the birds. Sister, quit licking me.
Did get all our corn planted.
Stop.
All of it's up. I got the Jimmy Red and the Evergreen. The Evergreen finally popped its head up.
Would you sit down?
Just need to plow it.
You can get out there.
I planted a second patch of Jimmy Red.
Sit.
Noticed this morning it's all the way up.
Just
It's up about an inch out of the ground.
Just
Went ahead and planted some peas this past week
have a seat.
before the rain started.
Good girl.
They're all up, look like a good stand. So the only thing we lacking is watermelons, cantaloupe, sweet potatoes, and beans, and a few other things like that. So, and I'm gonna plant a second patch of peas, and I've got some purple corn. They call it Cherokee corn. They said it was the corn that the Cherokees carried on the Trail of Tears. I don't know how true that is. I haven't really researched it that deep to see. But anyway, all right, go down. There you go, girl. Good girl. Sister, lay down. Just lay down a little while. But it's hard to keep up with anything with you jumping up and down all the time.
Janelle said, Mark D, I talk to people who have dog men on their property and they have no issues with them. That's good.
I have heard that. It was that Bettina Moss, I think is her name. She's up in North Alabama. She has a YouTube channel. I watch some of her stuff here and there. I think Coombo has been on her property with her, and they say there's some dog men on that property, and they hadn't bothered nobody. So I don't know enough about it to jump off in that stuff. I mean, I know I ain't no expert by means on anything, but I feel like I know the boogers a little bit. I mean, you can't control something you don't know what it is, but I haven't had too bad experiences. I did have that one right on my heels that time coming out coon hunting, but I don't think he was really trying to fool with me. I think he's just following me. but been screamed at and stuff like that. But they've had their opportunities and they didn't take advantage of it. So I don't know about the dog man thing. I know they exist. I don't doubt that one bit. There's too many credible people coming up with pictures, coming up with footprints, and just like the one I went. I didn't get to go on the location. I had to just go by because it was private property. But when I got to looking at the area, I saw, yeah, this prime area for something like a Sasquatch or a dog man to come through or even hang out in there. There's enough property with all the backwater, the river right there. I mean, that place was just prime, and I think they live right up under people. I mean, we got them right here at our place. I mean, we're out in the country, but we have neighbors. And then we have some like subdivisions that's not far away or areas where people are more congregated. Them suckers showing up in there. So that tells me they don't worry about us as much as we think. They just know when to do it and when not to do it. They know to move more at night. And I'm beginning to think now, a lot of times I'm wondering if we're seeing boogers more than we are, and they're on all fours and they look like a dog at first, and most people don't pay it no attention. Just like the lady over here thought it was a dog coming up in her yard, even called to it, "Here, Poochie." Yeah, it tickled me because I'm just wondering what that booger thought when he got called to. He got called Poochie. But I know that's not really funny, but it is sort of funny. And because she done told her, "I'll give you a treat." So I'm just wondering what that booger thought when he heard that, because he probably understood it. But the biggest thing about that whole thing was he entered that yard on all fours. She thought he was a dog. How many times have we probably seen something on all fours and we didn't really look at it? We just assumed it was a dog and maybe been one of them. So it's hard to say.
Yeah.
And she claimed, this one was white in the face. That ain't the first time I've heard about the white in the face. There's one on our hunting club that has some white in his face. So that could be a genetic thing. I don't know. That could be one of the ones off the hunting club. I have no idea. It's just going to be hard to figure out where they're coming from because there's so much private land here that I can't access. And it's going to be hard to just pull up somebody's yard and say, "Hey, man, you mind if I look around your property for Bigfoot sign?" I mean, that probably ain't going to go over well. So typically it has to be somebody that's seen something or having something happen for them to be more willing for you to come on their property. It's hard just to go up to anybody and say, "Hey, I'd like to look around your property." What you want to look around my property for? Well, I want to go look and see if there's any Bigfoot sign. Well, that probably ain't going to go over too well. So unless they've had experiences. And, so I'm kind of here. I'm kind of, as you want to say, landlocked here a little bit. I have my property. I have the few neighbors that's having stuff happen that don't mind me looking around. But then you got all this other vast property around me that I don't have access to. So it's going to be hard to figure out where these are bedding at, where they're coming from. Did they come from the club and get run off from up there by another clan, or something else done moved in up there? Or have these been here the whole time? And that's one reason I've got to go back and talk to this lady and some of the other neighbors. I'm wanting to see if I can establish more activity going on back further, because that might tell me something. That might tell me, well, no, these boogers have been here a while. Because there's plenty of land north of us that they could come from. This very vast, just farmland and woods with creeks and ponds. So, they may have been in here the whole time and people just hadn't realized it. And so we are going back to talk again. Hopefully tomorrow evening. I hope that's the way it's heading. And also I got another guy I got to go back and talk to. about some stuff going on their property and next to the national forest. So I'm hoping he's going to be willing to talk more about it, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, you ready for me to catch up comments again?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Crypto Crystal, what's the best watermelon?
Yellow meat.
Those are loaded questions when you ask what's the best variety or something, because I mean, everybody has a favorite. So to say what's the best, I don't know. It depends on whether or not you want yellow meat, red meat, whether you want seeded, seedless, whether you want really sweet or not really sweet, whether you want big, round, small. I mean, that answer, it's like asking what's the best tomato.
Now, are you asking to grow yourself, or are you
Probably.
asking just to?
She's probably asking to grow herself.
All right. So you're in Pennsylvania. So y'all got along. You could grow watermelons up there. You'll have to get a variety that's
Shorter season.
Something like a 60 to 70 day seed. Auburn University makes one called AU Gold. It's a yellow meated. It's a 65-day watermelon. I've ate them before. I have not grew them, but I have ate them. Very good watermelon to be a hybrid watermelon. You can't save seed from them. You have to buy that seed from Auburn every year. I've always been, since the 1990s, I have been growing what we call tender sweet. They're really supposed to be an orange flesh watermelon. I've only had a few of them ever turn orange. Most of them stay yellow. That tells you right off bat that they're a cross between a red and a yellow somewhere, and they made an orange. They're supposed to get real orange. I've only had a few that ever really got real pretty orange.
I think it could depend on the pH of the soil.
Could be the soil, could be when you plant it, could be how much water. I mean, it could probably play a lot of. But it's a very good watermelon. It always has good taste, except for one year they wasn't worth a flip. But I think that was because we got too much water. Because too much water on a watermelon will make them flat. People think when you hear the word watermelon, they need a lot of water. They actually don't. They come from almost a very dry climate, almost a desert climate. They come from the savanna plains of Africa. So that I'll tell you something. Now they have a wet season in those savannas, and they have a dry season. So that's why they do very well here in the South. Our weather is compatible with parts of Africa. In other words, that's why sweet potatoes do well here, okra, cotton, because we kind of we're closer to the equator than a lot of other people. So plus we're on the Gulf that keeps a lot of warm air. But I look at tender sweet. Another good watermelon that I've grew in the past is Congo. It's a red one. It's an old variety. But it gets real huge. That's the thing. That thing can get up 70, 80 pounds. So a very old variety. But it does have the rot in it. Back in the 1990s, there was a watermelon blight that come out. Seed companies didn't know it. They sold a lot of seed, and it cost a lot of commercial farmers their crops that year. It starts on one end, and the watermelon turns black and just dies. It's a blight. A lot of people sued the seed companies. A lot of them won. From then on, if you're on a commercial-based watermelon growing, you have to sign a sheet to buy your watermelon seed. Most places sell the little packs. You don't have to sign for them so it would be good if you get one that doesn't have that blight in it, which is very hard in your heirlooms now because what happened in the 1990s. That's one reason I've kept the tender sweet that I've got is because it didn't have it in it, but I think it's got it in it now.
Yeah, I think so too.
But for a long time, I didn't have that issue. There's another one here in Alabama that's a yellow meated called the Clay County. I think Baker Seeds is carrying it now, and a few other seed companies. That county right next to us, Clay County, that's what they're supposed to be real famous for, was um, their yellow meated watermelon.
Yeah, they do a watermelon festival every year.
It's not as big. It's a pale watermelon, and it's a round watermelon like a basketball. It's not the long ones. The tender sweet get long and big around. So there's just different types, and it's just what your taste is. I'm not a big red meated no more. I used to like red meated. My uncle used to grow a lot of yellow meated. My friend did, and I just kind of fell in the same groove with him because not many people grow yellow meated no more. Most of the time what you see is red meated, and but here in Alabama, yellow meated is still a big watermelon. A lot of people still grow it. When I know other parts of the South, they look at you, well, yellow meated. What are you talking about? They've never seen one. So I think you didn't even know about a yellow meated, did you? You did know about it, but okay.
But we ate mostly red.
Right.
All right. Janelle wants to know if you got a quick answer in you.
Okay.
When the peas might be ready.
It'll be in July, but I will nail that down for you a little better.
We'll message you when they start putting on blooms or something.
Well, it'll probably be in July because I just planted them last week. Typically, it takes peas about 6 weeks from start to
see all that on the screen. I got to read all that to you.
Yeah, so
that's why
we're probably looking in July, and I'm gonna plant some second crops too. So
yep, that way they stage, and hopefully the deer don't eat them all. All right, next, David Beasley. We did hear some weird stuff all around us last week. Owls were really cutting up. Janelle said, supposedly if you're good with God and have a good heart, they leave you alone. Don't know for a fact, but I have seen their pictures of their family. I think that's in response to the family with Dogman. That's how far back these comments are going. That's good to hear, Janelle. Most of the stories I have heard, they were very violent and evil creatures, but I definitely don't know anything about them. Yeah, I'm trying to read from a distance without glasses. All right, Flat Rock. I'm not there yet on Dogman, but all those reports in a cluster is really interesting. Janelle, scary stories are clickbait. Yes, they can be. Greg House, he had to go out on a traffic stop real quick. He's working tonight, policing. Janelle, very true. Mark D said, very true, Janelle. Most of the stories are probably not true. Either not true or hyped up. We'll say that.
I think,
exaggerated.
Greg, for instance. Greg's had a lot of activity with boogers. He's seen them. He's had them chase him, but they've never got him. Same way with me. Not going to say they don't get some people. We just don't know. But the experiences I've had, now I don't trust them. I'll tell you that right off the bat. I do not trust them because we don't really know what they are. I think I know what they are, but that means I can't prove it. But I think I know they're a subject of a Nephilim. I didn't say a Nephilim, a subject of a Nephilim. You have to really follow what I'm saying there. They're not. They got some in them, but not whole.
So a descendant.
Well, maybe not even a descendant. Maybe I don't know what you'd say.
The descendant doesn't have to be full.
Yeah.
It can be half and down a quarter.
Yeah. So that means they don't have dominion of the earth that we do. They probably despise us about it. I don't need to get in that subject right now.
Well, no, because I have a lot more comments to read.
Okay.
And you're going to be there on that subject for a while. All right. So Janelle said, mine was light gray, I think, very light. I'm assuming that skin color of something. I'm not sure. Okay. That's so far back, I don't even know anymore. Flat Rock, hey, Greg. Oh, have we got a Greg H on here too? Oh, yeah, we do. Greg Hauser. Sorry. My bad. Everybody's saying hey to Greg and Flat Rock. Thank you for your service, Greg. Support the blue. Janelle. Mark's yellow meat. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are good watermelons because Janelle's had some of them, hadn't she?
Yeah.
Which is the tender sweets. So,
And you can get those. They're still a very common watermelon. I'd like to go back growing the old Stone Mountains if I could find good seed, but that's an old variety of watermelon. It's a red meated though.
And Cryptic Crystal is going to grow at home.
Okay. You need to look what will grow in your area, Crystal, for your time period. I don't know how quick y'all get back into cold, so you'll probably need a watermelon that germinates fast and makes a watermelon fast. You probably need to look at something that's in the 60, 70, 80 days. Watermelon, you don't want to get none that's probably 100 or 120 days. But they will make to right up frost, just like okra and some other things will.
Let's see. Yellow's the best, Greg House says. They're still talking about police officers. Nothing but respect, tough job.
Yeah, Greg's a constable.
He says he really considers himself a peace officer.
Yeah, that's kind of what they consider a constable.
Let's see. Just curious, do you get very many calls reporting about Bigfoot in your area? If you're not allowed to say, I completely understand. All right, that's an interesting question. I'd like to hear that myself.
I think
he has lots of people tell him.
Yeah. I know some of the deputies in this area get calls. They just won't talk about it much.
So I think Janelle is saying the yellow meat is hard to find there. She wants to just get one that is sweet and good eating.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be best to ask the people that grow in your area what their favorite is, because soil and everything and climate does make a difference.
Them veggie boys that's in your area, Crystal, they're in Pennsylvania too. I don't know if they grow watermelons, if they have them brought in.
I don't remember. I think they bring them in.
I don't know how close she is to them. I don't know what ratio of part of it, because Pennsylvania, a big old state. So.
You know what? I think they actually grow them. I think I remember watching them pick them in the field one time.
Well, wherever they're at, they're kind of in a mountainous area.
But that might have been pumpkins.
Wherever, which you can figure out where they're at because they got a store and everything. But that might be a place. And you got seed companies. There's I can't name where Johnny Seeds, there's Baker, there's Southern Exposure, and there's a bunch
Seed
of
Savers.
There's a bunch of different seed companies. If you got a feed store in your area,
they'll carry what
they may have some watermelon seed that will grow there. Soil has a lot to do with the sweetness, how much water,
fertilizer.
Every
little thing can change flavor just a little.
They need well-drained soil. They don't like sitting water a lot. They do very well up on the side of a hill. Down here in the south, that's what people used to try to find, but they put them on. And I ain't talking about no real steep hill, but a hilly place.
No way it drains.
They do well. They'll grow on them, make big old watermelons. But you know, there's so many varieties out there, and I mean, you got Jubilees, you got Charleston Grays, you got the
Sugar Babies,
Moon
and Stars.
There's
a Moon and Stars yellow and a Moon and Stars red now.
They've been like it for a long time.
I didn't know there was both colors.
The Amish, when I used to go visit them in Tennessee, they had the red and the yellow.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Lane brought back some seed yellow.
Did not know that.
I wonder if that ain't part of his little.
Could be. Let me go back to comments again. Okay. They're getting ahead of us. Janelle says she has nothing planned for July but us. Okay. So when peas are ready, she's coming. Mark D can't stand watermelon, red or yellow. Misty says, wealth of knowledge all around on this show. Thank you, Misty. Mark D, absolutely at Misty. Sorry, y'all. I'm still here trying to get my feeding done. Girl, we still have to go feed. We haven't fed tonight. We'll be doing that after we wrap up the live.
Yeah, it's just part of life.
Yep, it's how it works. Let's see. Mark, Misty, Base. Oh, Can Squatch has made it.
Hey, Can. It's good to see you again, man.
Mark D, I wouldn't trust boogers either.
I wouldn't ever trust nothing like that 100%.
I treat dealing with them like going in the woods where you have grizzlies or big cougars. Yep, that's about right. Being aware of your
aware of your
surroundings.
Being
Yep.
aware of your surroundings, and do not get yourself in a predicament.
Everybody saying hello to each other, and I might have just caught up the end of the line. Let's see, Greg House. Lime is really important to reduce the acidity of the soil, and it will give fruit and watermelons and other melons a higher sugar content. Absolutely. You know why the lime is really important? It helps the plants be able to actually absorb all that fertilizer.
Because it's calcium.
Mm-hmm.
Calcium what enables plants to feed.
It's calcium in a uptakeable
way.
Yeah. Whatever that word is. Uptakeable.
It's strange that we live here in the South and our ground up under us is full of limestone, which is calcium. I mean, I live right here we live 4 miles from the marble quarries, largest marble quarries in the world, which is 99.9% calcium carbonate. Goes into everything from
limestone everywhere.
Limestone everywhere, but we have to lime here in the South. Now up north,
it's not in a usable form.
Up north, they don't have to lime as much because they have all that volcanic soil and from the glaciers pushing down that pushed all the minerals up. So, but they are having to fertilize more by what I'm hearing. They're probably depleting the soil now.
Probably.
And plus use of Roundup is killing everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know I said that on the air, but oh well.
It's all right.
All right. But I mean,
the number of people that come into Tractor Supply looking for a very good organic weed killer.
Yeah. You tell her there's a hole right over there.
I do every single time.
So yeah, we got some Maddox and some holes and what else you need there?
Yep. Oh, that's too much work. Well, then you don't want organic. The number of people wanting organic pesticides.
Why do you
want organic pesticide? Because I need to not kill the bees. Well, organic pesticides still won't kill the bees. It's going to kill a bug. It's going to kill a bee.
I know they had good intentions when they invented some of this stuff, or I'm gonna say I think they had good intentions.
Well, they did, because life is so hard back in the days, and they needed some things that would help save time.
So I know, but we are finding out that these herbicides and insecticides are really hurting.
What was that first one? The cotton poison, as everybody calls
DDT.
it. Yeah, DDT. There's your first weed killer, your first Roundup.
That was an insect.
Either one.
My daddy and them, my grandfather,
they killed everything.
Bought into that. You need to put that on your cotton field. So he was old school, but he bought into it that first year. They went and put it on all their crops, on their cotton, that is. A few days later, there were songbirds laying all over the ground, rabbits, quail.
Because they were eating all the bugs that had died from it.
My grandpa said, we ain't never using that stuff again. And they never used it again. Now, what he used from there, I don't know.
Yep.
But when he seen what it was doing, he realized, wait a minute, this is not good stuff.
Yep. And that's where we are with the Roundup and all that stuff now. We keep trying to find stuff that's not as bad for you, but at the same time, it's still as bad for you. Because we now have the glyphosates and the dicambas and the 2,4-Ds and all the different sorts of weed killers and brush killers and different strengths and different percentages and even mixtures and combinations of each other.
Well, I mean, it's even in our hay now. They spray crazy on hay where people have the pretty hay fields, but yet the animals are eating that.
Yep. And it's not even composted.
And the compost is no good for nothing. So do not, if you buy hay to feed your animals and you're planning on using that manure, you need to ask them people, did they spray some kind of weed killer on their hay field? If they do, that manure is not good.
I can pretty much go ahead and tell you like this.
About 90% of the people are doing it.
If it's horse quality hay it's been sprayed.
Yeah.
If it's mixed grass hay, it has not been sprayed. But nowadays, if it is a horse quality hay, they have sprayed every bit of that.
So I wouldn't use that manure.
You
That'd be,
can't-
I mean, like if you feed goats that hay
Mm-mm.
or cows, leave that manure alone.
Yeah, you can't use the manure of any animal that eats.
And in fact, it tells
hay
you on
that's
the
treated.
Graze On bag or the bottle. And they put it in little print,
Yep.
of course.
But see, here's where the problem happens with that. The person that sells the hay to the person that has the cow
It
doesn't tell them.
And here's
And the person with the cow doesn't think to ask. So then the person that goes and cleans out the person's barn for the manure doesn't know.
and here's how the herbicide company got by with it. They
Because
say
it
it's
doesn't hurt the animal.
no. Their
But
liability.
it doesn't hurt the animal.
No. Their liability they put on the farmer.
Mhm.
Because they put on the bottle, they say
Yeah, it's your
it's
responsibility.
your responsibility to
Yeah.
inform people that buy hay from you that this has been treated.
But
See,
it
they-
doesn't hurt the animal,
Well,
which is wild.
yeah. Well, we don't know if it does or not.
Well, we don't know, right? But the animal lives. We'll put it that way.
Well, all of us live and ain't no telling what kind of toxins are in us.
Oh yeah, because we ate the hay. I mean, the cow that ate the hay,
So, they
and
done
we
found
wonder
out.
why their people are trying to get
the
away from
CDC
meat
just
diets.
came out this past year and said all samples of human beings showed 15% of Roundup in their system.
Which one?
Huh?
Roundup is only glyphosate.
Well,
That's not what Grazon is.
Well, I'm talking. When they done that study, they come out and said that when they looked at DNA, they found, I guess, Roundup I know is a brand. But what I'm trying
My
to say,
point was, which chemical did they find?
the glass,
The
whatever.
glyphosate. Okay, so not the dicamba and the 2,4-Ds yet. That's coming.
Well, Roundup is the one mainly used in.
Yeah, because all the crops are glyphosate ready.
Yeah.
Notice I said glyphosate instead of Roundup. All right, back to comments. I have coyotes coming in and been trying to feed earlier than dark, but it doesn't always happen. That's a good reason to try to get in before dark. I try to get it done before Mark leaves for work. Sometimes he has to do it so that it gets done before I get home.
One
at dark.
reason is I don't want her out there fooling around with that booger food
Right.
around here.
And then, let's see, FYI, I thought there were only yellow moon and stars. She didn't know there was a red moon and stars.
It's a real.
I didn't know there was the yellow moon and stars. That's funny. Mark D, wow, that's crazy, Mark. Misty, when the coyotes start cutting up, listen closely for the boogers hollering with them. That's what David Beasley said.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Janelle said Misty and all the pigs are pink.
Pigs are pink.
Uh-huh. I missed that one. Must be like with the yellow moon and stars. And all pigs are pink. They're not really, but let's see. That's Fresh Made It. Hey,
Hey,
hard
Fresh.
to believe anything they say. Hey, you're told exactly what they want you to know, and don't you dare. Oh, yeah, exactly. Greg House, my mom got over 120K in a Roundup settlement from my dad's non-Hodgkin's lymphoma that turned into leukemia. Ooh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Glad she got a settlement, but yeah, that's where we all are headed.
Yeah.
That settlement they've had everybody trying to get in on it and be done with it, and that's going to be gone eventually. It's just going to become normal.
Well, let me tell you a story about the.
Well, let me finish comments.
All right.
Michael Haywood is here. Said hello.
Hey, Michael.
I guess I'll just be full of Roundup because I'll never be vegetarian. Well, the vegetarians is the ones full of Roundup because of the soy products.
Yeah.
Hey, Miss Misty, lush to see girl.
All your big crops
Big house, David.
are
Yeah, I do. listen
Roundup
for
ready
them.
now.
Hey, kids.
Soybeans, the corn, they've got the
Well,
wheat. They're working
Okay.
on the oats, the alfalfa,
we're caught up.
the peanuts. They all getting them in that range. You know, it's a control thing too.
Mhm.
But let me tell you a little story about that. I'll try to do it real short. A friend of mine had been leasing some of their property out to row croppers for years. They decided they wanted to take that field back and put it in hay production. So he went and told the farmer, it's about a 20-acre field, that, hey, I'm going to take that
Is this
field.
Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
He said, I'm going to take this field back. You can still rent the other fields, but I want this field to turn into hay. The guy said, okay. The guy been planting it for years. Corn, cotton, soybeans, them three. Chris, yeah, my friend, went and planted Bahia. It took him 7 years to get that hay field to a good hay field, from where so much Roundup had been put on that property that he wouldn't grow nothing else but stuff that's compatible with the Roundup. Now, she can explain to you better what means compatible with Roundup.
Well, they go in and bioengineer the seed.
Right. But so it took him 7 years to get that property back to where it would grow sufficient hay enough to cut. He'd get to cut parts of it every year. That's how long it took for that grass. Bahia usually will take over a place in 2 years. If you get once you get that stand of Bahia, it runs like wildfire across the place. Mm-hmm. It took him 7 years to get that field.
And they say that once Roundup touches the soil that it dies. It really doesn't. It has half-life and then it dissipates from there. It takes it a while to actually really break down. They don't tell you that part. But if you do your research, you can actually find that information on the labels.
And it goes down to the bedrock, my understanding. That it can soak down to the bedrock.
Depending. Before it dissipates.
Because that's what it goes after, is roots. Mm-hmm. It goes to the brain of the plant. That's where it goes, if you want to call it the brain, which is probably the roots.
Probably the heart is what I'd call it.
Heart, okay. So that's what it goes after. And so you take a place where they've been spraying it constantly for 20 years, mm-hmm. and yeah, you're going to have issues there. You're going to have issues.
Yep. That's very sad. It's hard to know what you're eating nowadays. And Janelle said it's scary trying to grow our own or supporting our farmers locally. That way, even then though, you don't know really even supporting your local farmers, because farmers are pushed to use these products and everything nowadays.
If you can grow your own food, mm-hmm. where you know exactly what's going on, you're better off. But I know it's hard for people to do that. But a lot of people don't have enough land or equipment to grow what they need.
That's fresh. You're right.
But if you can get in with local farmers and find out what they're using.
And that's if they can get quantities of seed that's not fungicide treated, Roundup ready, all the different things. There's a lot of limitations that even a farmer has to face.
They've got that system closed.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm saying this correct, they've almost got it airtight where you cannot get away from it. They're playing with our food. We know that.
And when you grow certain quantities, you're set into having to grow certain varieties, aren't you?
Well, the big farmers, they
that's
go.
What I'm saying.
They're buying their seed from these big seed companies,
and they have to grow certain varieties,
and they can't let nobody else have that seed. That's why you see the little numbers out on the field. Mm-hmm. You'll go down through there and you'll say Pioneer 5120. Well, that's a variety of corn, but also that's his permit to grow that corn, because he don't actually own that corn. Mm-hmm. See, and that's why they're trying to do away with heirloom seeds, because then you own it. But see, Monsanto and some of these other companies are trying to buy up all the heirloom. Why are they trying to do that? You know what they're trying to do that for.
Control.
So, I need to be careful what I'm saying.
I was going to say, we might need to get off that topic, actually. Let's see. Let me catch up comments again. David really gets them going, and other things not gets me going.
What we need to have is have us
problem is, unless they grow it covered nowadays, we cannot guarantee bugger all. Nothing is organic. How could it possibly be? Yet another con scam. You are correct on that one. I said that when you made that comment. There are a lot of chemicals that are considered organic even. Yeah. We were down at Petals from the Past, remember? And they were telling us about some of the ones that are labeled organic. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it's chemical. It's not organic at all. And like I said before, if it'll kill a bug, it'll kill a bee, like nobody's business. And all these people nowadays are so scared of bugs, it's not even funny. I'm on some of these Facebook groups again. I'm gonna have to get off the gardening groups because they're like, oh, I'm so scared. It's a bug. What do I do? It's a bug. Leave it be.
If people knew how much bug matter was in their food from the companies, they would faint.
Well, they don't realize that the bugs are pollinators. I mean, the bee is not the only pollinator. It's the only pollinator for certain crops, yeah. But every bug out there has the potential to be a pollinator as it crawls around the plants and going, and doing its thing. Let's kill all the bugs. Anyway, let's see. It's horrible to think we all eat when we don't grow and harvest our own foods. And there again, it's a trap because you can't grow and harvest all your own food. But if you got some people together and got a community going, you could do some trading.
That's where it works.
We're going to stay away from the Monsantos. The whole system's bloody toxic as heck. How do we get around this as a concerned community is the real deal. Certain countries are starting to outlaw growing your own food. Yeah, exactly. And ours is going to be one of them. Sustainable Development Program, Agenda 2030. That's not good. How about citric acid made from black mold? What? I have not heard that one yet.
I haven't heard that.
Humanity has become very hard work combined. Most have the IQ of a carrot. Yep. Yeah, I have not. Leanne's made it in the house. Hi there.
Hey, Leanne.
David says, I think the day is coming soon where we'll have to consume what we grow, harvest, or starve. Good thing we have a community where we can trade with one another. Exactly. It's going to be you have to keep it hidden type thing too, I'm afraid, because you're not going to be able to be purchasing it unless you have your marks and vaccines, and here we go.
Yeah.
We might need to be careful again. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to open up with this and really go, but I know YouTube would shut it down.
Yeah.
I need to just have us a conference. Have us a Homesteader Bigfoot.
Because we might get, thrown out. I just had to approve 2 comments for you, for you. That's fresh. Language though, they really flagged those comments.
Yeah.
Especially that one. We're not even going to repeat what that one says because we might get shut down. So, but I did put them on there. I allowed them to go through. So, because I do agree with you on those. Just so you know, I do agree with you. So, but I can't say them on air. So.
Be nice to have a Homesteader Bigfoot conference where
it would,
and not charge for it like all these others do. Just have a big area so everybody come to, sit down, and we just have some talking going on.
Truth bombs is correct.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against the Bigfoot conferences. I know they have to pay for facilities, and some of these speakers have to come from a long way, and they probably help them on fuel and hotel. I understand that. I agree. But it's like me and Jonathan Odom's always said, as long as we are able, we're not charging for anything. We're not going to charge for an outing. And a lot of people do because what are we charging for? Well, we don't know 100% what these things are. So how can I charge for it? So you never probably hear me talk about charging for talking about Bigfoot. I just my brain don't go there. But I would like to put together some kind of conference one of these days, and it'd be Bigfoot, homesteading, talk about the whole 9 yards, and have some good people come speak.
Yep.
I don't know how I could get it put together.
Well, and some people might not come speak unless you paid them,
Well,
which is the other downside.
well, that's true. But I think I could get some people.
Yeah. Well, you could, yes. I know you could. Missy said we've got a local group here that is true barter with eggs, crops, and such, canned stuff, homemade breads, etc. I would love a true barter group because, man, I will give somebody all of the ingredients to just cook me dinner.
What you say? I just cooked you dinner a while ago.
You get more than ingredients. But you know what I meant. Let's see. Back to reading comments. God's hand. Mr. Bell has 3 months supply of food hidden away, working on more. That's good. Fresh. Hasn't Bigfoot become big business over the last few years? It sure has.
Yep. Yeah.
It sure has. Thank you for always saying hey to my baby girl, Abby. Oh, okay. I was reading
don't
that.
get me wrong. I don't have an issue with people making money off of it. But what I'm saying, if somebody writes a book, they're entitled to get money off that book.
Yep.
I mean, they took the time, research, wrote the book, and they sell them.
Hey, Joe.
I ain't got an issue with that. I ain't got an issue with a man being helped to get somewhere to speak about it. I mean, if he's, we all ain't got tons of money. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes I look and these conferences are $200 or $300 and
for one person.
For one person,
for one day.
And for you to be able to talk to them people. Anybody in the world can call and talk to me. I'm going to talk to you.
Yep.
Now, I ain't no big name either. I ain't saying I am. But I guarantee you, I know just about as much as a lot of them and probably some more. Not saying I'm an expert by no means, but when I listen to some of these people, these conferences, I've watched them on YouTube. I'm like, this person ain't really experienced Bigfoot like a lot of us on here have. And I'm going,
I paid for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like some in the homestead. They're getting all this big money from telling people how to grow stuff. Yet I'm sitting here listening to them. They're talking about stuff that I knew about when I was a kid.
Yes. Well, and nowadays, all that the homesteading videos do is market stuff that you got to go buy.
There's a few that put real information on.
Yes, there's very few. And
don't try to make
some of them are turning into the gimmicks too now. I don't know if you noticed that. The green stalks have made their way everywhere. Even to Holler Homestead, I was very upset. Because what do you need that for? Anyway, Joe Parker said him and Pat's been fishing. They didn't have no luck.
Hey, Joe and Pat. Hey, and anybody else I've missed saying hello to has popped in. Hello. I hope you.
I think that's all that's popped in that I haven't had to announce.
What time are we getting on?
We are getting up there.
Okay.
8:19.
Okay.
It's all local people, and they trade anything.
Which is good. I ain't got to go to work, so we got a little time tonight. So.
Let's see. When it becomes about the money, I lose faith. Absolutely.
Like I said, I ain't got a problem with
somebody
making money,
get together.
especially if they're writing a book or something.
We have the fireside get together every month on the first Saturday. I have not looked at the date. Let me finish going through the comments, and I will look at the date. No desire to attend a conference. I always wanted to attend the conferences, but not for the price they charge.
Yeah.
Speakers
we
should
at some of the
only
homestead
be
conferences.
boots on the ground researchers. I agree 100%.
We looked at the Homesteaders of America.
That was interesting.
And when I looked at the price, I said, dude, what? For me to go up there and listen to them talk about stuff I already really know about. I ain't bragging. I ain't an expert. I ain't saying that.
Yep.
What I'm saying is I know more about some of this stuff than them folks do.
Yep.
But
I went to learn making bread, and I knew as much as they did.
Yeah, Rebecca sat through a class, and you more than them.
Yeah, it was interesting. Anyway, truth has never been about money. It's there to be passed on so we can unite. This is the
It's about
ultimate
the truth.
goal as they
It's about
consume
telling the
energy
truth.
dividing us. Absolutely.
It's about the truth.
Never trust anyone that claims to be an expert. 100% true there.
There probably are some experts, but they're probably in the government. They're the ones that's probably
Joe
got
Spencer
species
and Mike
and studied
Misty
it.
are on the crazy train. Oh boy. Let's see. Hellos, yeses. No food in the green room. Oh.
I don't need to
Spencer
get
won't
stirred
be
up.
on the show Sunday.
Yeah, his
Turning
daughter's got to go.
cogs. Let's see. Spencer barbecue show. Oh boy. Hey Pat, glad you made it on. Lost track of time down at the dock fishing. But it was fun fishing whether you caught anything or not though.
Hey, being outdoors and enjoying something you like is what you need to be doing.
June 2nd is the next date. Is that the next date?
That should be it.
So I'm done with the comments. Let me go.
Now,
get
next
out.
Friday night, I won't be here. I don't know if you'll do a live or not.
Oh, that's right.
So it's up to you.
It's actually June 3rd. The 2nd is Friday.
You ought to.
Let's see. I don't have the Bigfoot knowledge or anything.
Yeah, but it ain't out
And, no, but most of our audience is your Bigfoot audience. So
Yeah, but a lot of them homestead too.
see you later, Mr. David.
Take care, David.
Who is Ben? Oh, Blue Eyed Northern. Never mind. Let's see, Misty. I have 2 guests lined up, and we're gonna do a Q&A. I can't tell you who it is, but trust me, y'all gonna be excited. Oh, cool. Glad to hear that.
Good.
Yeah, Rebecca may not be going solo. SOL might be the
Well, get
more
Misty on with you.
accurate way.
Get Misty on with you or
Oh
somebody.
boy, hey, I might have to do that. Do StreamYard and put Misty on here with me.
Yeah,
Oh,
she might do it with you on Friday night.
That might be a show. Let
Then
me
I can listen to it as
toy
I'm
with
driving
that
over.
idea.
I can listen to it on my drive to Ohio.
Are you hearing that, Misty? What's your plans for next Friday? We might have to see what we can do.
Yeah, do the StreamYard.
Or Sherry could too. Hey, we can do all, y'all.
Yeah. Get on there and talk something about that paranormal stuff.
Mark D said
Because
he's
I
going
hold
to try
off
and
on the
come.
paranormal because I want you to talk about it. So
Mark D said he's going to try and come that Saturday.
come on up.
So
Just send us a message and I'll send you my address.
Yep.
Just PM me and I'll send you my address or email us. And
does he have you on Facebook to send you in a message?
I don't know if he does or not. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know if he does or not either.
Well, we have an email.
Yep.
mgreen
35151.
@gmail.com.
Yep. So message Mark.
That's mgreen 35151.
That's first said they'll be there in spirit.
That's it. We ought to do a live one time from the fire pit one night.
We really should.
Because we got internet service right there. We may have to do that.
Might have to.
That way,
Teleport. There you go. Teleport.
That way, some of the people that's way off can actually see what happens.
Mhm.
See what goes on. Or nothing happens. I'm just talking about.
Oh, Flat Rock and Mark D carpooling. That might work too.
Yeah, be good.
That would be good.
Be good. Come on up. Got boogers here at the house.
Yep, sure
They
do.
don't ever really show up during no fire pit though. They do come around afterwards though. I done figured that out.
Oh, are we going to be shocked when you show up, Miss Leanne?
Hey, come on.
Come on.
Come on.
We'll be quite happy. Mark D said he thinks he is on your Facebook. So,
Okay.
all right. And Cryptic told Fresh to pick her up on the way when he teleports over.
Now, I would love for all of us to get together. And like I said, I'm thinking about, seriously, I've mentioned it to a couple of people about here doing a conference here. More more catered toward homesteading and the cryptid stuff. I mean, I don't mind putting them together. I don't see no big deal about it.
They're together already.
That's what kills me is what people don't realize is a lot of homesteaders are dealing with these things.
Mhm.
They're just not talking. All of them ain't talking about it.
Some of them are in denial,
Some of them don't even know they got them.
and some of them just don't want to tell you they got them. Yeah, I'll expect the unexpected. We will not be missing no ears or limbs or anything, though, when you teleport over. You will make it whole, just saying. You might be see-through, but you'll be whole.
Yeah, I need to go get with Keith and sit down and let me and him talk about the portal one day. And let him tell everybody what he saw, him and the other two people.
Mm-hmm.
Really need to do that. But people keep asking me about the portal. I didn't see it, so I can't really. All I can do is go by what I was told. So I really need to sit down and let him
Joe
tell.
said, tell Pat Rance that he's got swampland for sale.
Yeah, I've got to ride and look at a piece of property for Pat tomorrow. That was
Well, you
nothing.
got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow.
Yeah, I should have got my tail on out of bed today, but that house was just sleeping so good. It was cloudy outside, like it's gonna rain any minute. Boy,
That's the best sleeping weather. And it's going to be in the 50s next week.
Yeah, I told you going back.
I know.
Cooking.
Yeah, it's going to be in the 50s again next week.
Last week of May.
End of May. That's blackberry winter.
I've seen it before though.
Oh yeah, that's your true blackberry winter.
I've seen 50s in June before.
Yeah.
In fact, I was fishing on the river one night and told my buddy, I said, man, it's getting cool out here.
Mm-hmm.
It was crappie fishing. And man, I got cold. Me and him finally had to just leave. I got into his truck and he said, Mark, it's 52 degrees. I said, wow, no wonder we was freezing to death.
Yep,
You know.
that'll do it.
Of course, we was out there with t-shirts on, with a breeze blowing off that water. So yeah, it was rough.
I am suffering. I miss the sunshine. I don't do cold.
Yeah, we need the sun to come out for a few days.
Yeah, it's a little mushy everywhere.
But when the sun comes out, fires and storms up.
Right. But I tell you what, I do better with hot than I do cold.
Yeah.
He does better with cold than he does hot.
Yeah.
I just have to be careful when I start getting hot because I have already had a heat stroke in the past. So I just make sure that I get cooled down pretty quickly before it reaches too hot. So yeah, that's fresh said. Are you guys suffering? Nothing but cloud cover all the time. Yeah, I'm suffering.
Yeah. After a few days, it starts almost getting like depressing a little bit. And it kind of gets you where you don't want to do much. It's kind of like in the middle of the winter when you have all that gray, cold weather, you get where you don't want to do a whole lot the same way. Seems like when that sun comes out, it kind of boosts you.
Mark D said he's not ready for summer yet. Well,
Not even.
we done had summer in February, so.
This time of year, I don't mind so bad. I kind of, I don't mind the little cool nights.
5 degrees.
Where at?
That's fresh.
5 degrees. Where? In England right now?
She said it's nearly June. I mean, he said it's nearly June here, and it's currently 5 degrees. Now, wait a minute. Is that Celsius or is that Fahrenheit?
Yeah, as I'll say.
That's going to be Celsius, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what is 5 degrees Fahrenheit? Like 40 something, maybe? Yes, Celsius.
Okay.
Yeah, I was panicking for a minute for you with 5 degrees.
Yeah, in the United States, we're still on the Fahrenheit system.
Because 5 degrees is like cold.
Oh, yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Somebody
It's 30 something, I think, yeah.
Somebody did ask me.
And 30 something degrees Fahrenheit is, Celsius is like 95 Fahrenheit or something like that, I think.
I keep swearing I see something move by the front door, but the light ain't coming on or nothing. But maybe it's just my eyes playing with me. I did have a question the other day, and I'm not going to really jump into that question, but I did bring it up on the video of the day.
5 is 41.
That down the road, I am going to come out with a video and explain what I think these things are, what I feel they are, what their purpose is, and all this other stuff with the aliens and ghosts and paranormal and and there's a bunch of people out there that believe the same way I do. So I'm gonna come out one day and kind of. I probably won't be able to explain it as well as some of these other people, but just kind of just the way I feel toward things, the way I felt for a long time. Rebecca can tell you, I've always kind of brought up to her what I think they are. She knows that. I brought up several times what I think these things are and what their purpose is. But and I may be totally wrong. All of us may be totally wrong. But I just, what?
Comments.
Oh, okay. But I am coming with that video sooner or later, sometime this summer. It will pop up. And it would probably stir up a hornet's nest with some folks.
So, Mark D works in a non-air conditioned machine shop. He likes cold weather a lot better.
Yeah,
My heat stroke come from a non-air conditioned parts manufacturer with welding and all that. That's where I ended up with my heat stroke. Didn't realize
she worked as a robot technician for a little while.
I didn't realize my heat stroke was a heat stroke. I thought it was just heat exhaustion until I looked up all them symptoms later, and it was actually a heat stroke. He had to tote me to bed. I'm not one that loves to be toted. Do I even remember you toting me to bed?
Probably not.
I mean,
tried to get you going to the hospital. Probably should have.
I don't remember that. But yeah, you probably should have. Anyway.
I think you ended up going the next day or so, didn't you?
Mm-mm.
But,
no. I didn't go for several weeks.
Overruled you that day, but I did.
Let's see. Won't lie when you say it's good to have that scared feeling inside. It's with you on that too. I do better with spring and fall. Hey, there's my 2 seasons, spring and fall.
Yeah, I like it when the nights are in the 40s and 50s and the days are in the 60s and 70s. I do great.
Just keep me above freezing. Let me have a blanket. I'm good.
Once we get up above about 80, 82,
that's too much.
With our summer humidity, I start, and then it ain't long we hit the 90s with the humidity, and it gets miserable.
And then it ain't long and it's at 100.
It gets miserable. You walk outside, you just start pouring in sweat,
and it drains you.
It starts draining you, and it's wintertime. I can walk out and it be 30 degrees. I can still function.
Not me. It hurts.
I can still function. Just keep a coat on. I've learned the biggest thing, just keep something on my head, like a cap or a toboggan or something. I can function all day. But hot weather, once it gets on up in the 80s, I start hating it. And my problem is I do work in a climate controlled place. So, and then I'm coming home trying to farm and all that, and it puts a whooping on me. For years, I worked in a place that wasn't climate controlled. It was out in the weather, and it didn't bother me in the summer as much because I was out in it all day anyway. Plus, I was a lot younger back then, too, than I am now. But now, and I'm going to say this, the weather is a little different than it used to be.
And Crystal, I am definitely with you on hate doctors. That's usually why I stay away from them.
Yeah, we could do a whole show on that one.
Let's see. That's fresh. It's beautiful there.
You got a question popped up.
It's not a question. It's a comment I've got to approve. Okay. I'll get to it in just a second. It's something Misty said. How in the world you back into gardening? That's not relief in that. No, it's not. But I like to garden. Doctors, just people with the same issues, cannot be trusted, especially when they 15 to 30% per annum off the big pharma. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, they get paid too, just like the rest of the whole program, system, whatever you want to call it. Run and program CNC lathes. Yeah, that's what Mark D does. Love the cold, only love the hot if it's near the ocean. Yeah, that's good. What about 10 degrees? I don't do 10 degrees. And then Misty said, let me show that. Opinions are like, oh, that's why because of that word. Opinions are like buttholes. Mark, everybody's got one and everyone is entitled to their own. You say what you want to. Yep. And they'll mess you up more than fix you up. Yes, they do. They mess you up more than they fix you up. The country land is stunning, though, like the USA, run by twisted criminals. Yeah. I think that's getting to be everywhere there.
Run by hybrids.
That too. Weather is definitely different than when I was a kid. Leanne, 49, and it's changed. That's what Greg said. Age has a lot to do with it. It does. It does. And how you have took care of yourself to get to that age. I used to be perfectly fine outside until I had that heat stroke. And now I could handle the cold before.
Yeah, you used to do better with it.
I did a lot better with the cold, but then when I had that heat stroke, it got to where I couldn't handle the cold anymore. And then when I had that virus, I really cannot handle the cold at all now. My body, I can't even handle my body temperature doing what it's supposed to. My hands are like fire right now. It's not even funny. They're like fire. But if it turns cold, my hands will be like ice, and the bones in my hands and arms and legs and body will just hurt in the middle of the bones, and it won't warm up. I'll be in the bed next to him and be cold for a couple of hours trying to get warm.
The next time you know, you're hot as a
Burning
fire.
hot, yeah. So, all right.
I guess we need to get.
We kind of do.
But hey, I've been
Research geoengineering program. That's Fresh said to Leanne. And Agenda 2030. When it's cold, we like the heat a little more, and when it's cold, we like the heat.
Yeah. That is true. Well, us humans always.
Yeah, when it's hot, we like the cold. That's it. In Alabama, we went from spring, summer, fall to cold, and yes.
We have all four seasons.
And it let that
day.
word come through, but not the other words. Yeah. It has blocked several of the other words, but it let Hades come through. Joe, do you think we actually belong here? Like, do we fit in naturally? That's what Fresh asked Joe. 51, Greg, Leanne is 51. So, yes, I agree. It's not just, I can't see, our age. Some of it is, but I agree the weather has changed. It has definitely changed. It's different, but it's a cycle of change. Bit of experiment, perhaps.
The diva showed up.
I know, I saw. I was very surprised. Leanne's
even come right
us.
by the dog. The dog didn't move.
All right. Oh, well, you put it in the comments, Miss Leanne. I was just reading the comments. All right. So.
Yeah. Anybody got any questions they want to bring up real quick before we get ready to go? I did talk about the other day, maybe start talking to some other people live.
I will be 50 next year.
So that might start here pretty soon. And what I'm talking about, doing a live with somebody. I did bring that up on the video. In fact, you might be the one that starts it off. So you might get to practice with it next Friday.
We'll see. We'll see. If there's no live, y'all know I chickened out.
Well, you need to let everybody know if you're not going to do a live. But I don't know if I can do it from the car with you or not, because I don't know if I'd have service or not.
I don't know if you would or not either.
But oh, you ought to really think about what you said earlier. But you could,
We're getting misty on there.
yeah, you could. You and her could get off into paranormal. You and her and Sherry could
Let's
get
see.
off into paranormal. There's something that you really been wanting to talk about. And I've been hesitant to bring it up a lot because I kind of gonna let you start that off.
Let's
But,
see.
You know, I mean, I could talk about it all day, but I've just been kind of staying.
Joe, we ain't talking about the wine.
Wine.
Yeah, the wine we made.
Oh yeah.
It's sitting in the bedroom still.
Yeah.
Still.
It's probably vinegar now.
It probably is. Yeah.
I might go pour it on my parts so you get some rust off.
Yeah, it might get the rust off for you. It might. We kind of put it out of sight, out of mind, and kind of forgot about it. So
I think next time we do it, it needs to be in a place where we see it.
it needs to be in a place that you see it, but it's got to be in a cool, dark place. I mean, it's the double-edged sword. So the only wine he does is WHINE. Yeah. Well, let's wrap her up and let's hop off here because it is almost 9 o'clock.
Is it? We ain't never done almost 2 hour live.
We have.
Have?
When we were doing them at 6 and you were leaving at 8.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. We've done a couple of them.
Oh, good. If y'all got any questions on homesteading, let us know. We'll try to answer if we know, or we'll try to find the answer. Tractors, let me know. I don't know everything about tractors, but I can answer a question for you. I hope y'all enjoyed the video with the grist mill. I am going to go back and do a better video of the grist mill. And I will talk about some of the paranormal stuff that went on there too, that my mom and her family experienced when my grandfather was running that mill.
Crystal said maybe it's shine now.
Sister, no. Anyway, all right, come on. You can get up here and tell everybody you're supposed to be star of the show anyway. Big baby. Lord of mercy.
Yes, age is a state of mind, depending on what you've done to your body until that point. Yeah.
All right, is that better? Yeah, this dog is like a baby.
Feeling young, get a younger partner.
Don't
There you
lick
go.
me.
Y'all, I miss my rock climbing days and all. I really do.
You know, something we do need to do is get us some kayaks and at least get started.
We do.
Doing that.
We do. I miss my kayaking and all too.
I really miss my fishing. I used to fish a lot.
Same.
Talking about fishing real quick, and then I know we got to get off here. The guy that talked to the other day, his initial report was from fishing the other day. And then we got into some other things, and hopefully that will come out pretty soon. He talked real nice, willing to me. I just got to figure out a time I can go sit down with him. That's my problem. I'm like everybody else. I'm time constraint between work and trying to do a farm and then trying to research Bigfoot. And it just makes it tough. And then you got to have people, you got to work with their time too. So anyway.
All right, we got another comment I got to show you.
But anyway.
A sugar daddy.
I need a sugar woman.
I got sugar. I ain't got money. But I'm a woman. Does that help?
Most of the women own most of the property and money in the U.S. Anyway.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah. I got guns there. They drooping now though. So when you and Becca gonna come visit? We need to come visit. It's my work schedule. It's awful.
Who is that?
Greg House.
Greg, probably next month. My son's gonna come for a couple of weeks. I told Kumbo the other day, which y'all be in prayer for Kumbo. I know Greg knows what's going on. Kumbo's going to end up probably having to have surgery, so y'all be in prayer for him. So I told Kumbo I was going to try to hopefully come up next month. Maybe I know you'll be at work, but me and Jonathan may just ride up one day.
You should
visit everybody.
You should.
And that'll give me a chance to get him out and about.
Exactly.
So.
And that's what I want you to do. I want you to get Jonathan and go places while he's here.
So me and him probably during that time period go around and visit some folks. While he's here, I'm gonna try to get him out a little bit doing some Bigfooting too, because I need that boy to understand what's going on, and because he's one of those that likes to just take off walking in the woods, and not think about it. I really got to get him educated on that. But plus, I'm gonna put him to work down here helping me. He knows that, so we got some little projects we're gonna do. So.
Yep, some remodeling going on,
So,
some farming going on.
yeah, so I'm on probably get him. I think he's gonna stay about a month with us. The way he talked now. So,
Well, the cat did make it on the camera.
yeah, I got sister over here doing her little baby
The note to finish the show. You ready for this?
Okay.
That's Fresh said you need a woman as sweet as sugar,
thing. Sweet as sugar.
which is not me.
No, you're a good woman.
I'm a good
You're
woman.
contrary at times.
I'm more like apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, some days you contrary.
It's sweet with bite.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, you're a good woman. I love you.
I love you. All right. Let's wrap her up. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Central Time,
Unless we say different.
unless we say different.
And well, she'll let you know for sure about next Friday. Maybe that's something she can get worked out.
Yep.
We need to go ahead and download that downstream.
I've got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I've already got the login and all that stuff. I just hadn't done anything with it.
Yeah. So,
Sounds like it's time to play with it.
yeah.
So,
Y'all remember everybody we support. There's a ton of them. All of them have good stuff. You know, Misty and Spencer with Woodwalkers.
ouch.
Y'all go support Misty this weekend. Since Spencer's not going to be there, so go support her. Her and her family, her and Sherry, and I think their other aunt Donna have the. And I hope I said that right, Misty. Have their Facebook page, the Southern Appalachian Sasquatch Seekers. There's Miss Bama BF with her Facebook, and she has a YouTube. Y'all go check some of her out. She has some good pictures. I mean, you can tell something's there. And of course, the Beast Crew, Mr. Mark, Mr. Larry, and some of the other people that's on there with them. I ain't gonna name everybody because there's a ton of them. And then Chris with Discover Sasquatch, and Kyle with Encrypted
What the heck is
Connection.
wrong with the cat?
I don't know, but there better not be no fight explode right here because I can't take it. There'll be dogs going one way and cats the other way. Hellbent Holler and Mr. Barton Nunley with Humanoids. Lauren with Night Callers. She is back on this week. And I tell you somebody y'all need to really go check out. He doesn't talk about Bigfoot that much, but he has kind of mentioned Bigfoot and what he thinks they are. Kind of same way I think. But that's that Timothy Alabrino. And he's been on a lot of different shows, and this boy he's younger than me, and he's really done some research on different things. And of course, like he says, a lot of it's his opinion too. But I have to kind of agree with him. Me and him's kind of on the same plane, I guess you call it. But y'all go check him out. He's on different platforms, but he does have a YouTube channel of his own. Of course, there's Deep South, Permapastures, and of course, there's a host of other people out there. I hope I ain't forgetting nobody tonight. But if I am, I'm sorry. I can't always remember everybody. So.
Misty's daughter said she needs a Splenda daddy.
Huh?
Misty's daughter said she needed a Splenda daddy.
A Splendid Daddy.
Yeah. And on that note, we're going to leave the show.
So that's artificial sugar.
Artificial sugar. Artificial sugar. Like I said, on that note, we're going to see y'all later. Before
Love
the
y'all.
cat
Take
and
care
the
of
dog
each
have a
other.
fight.
Love
So-
y'all. Love one another. Take care of one another. Get along. We'll see y'all next week, or Rebecca will.
Somebody will. Bye, guys.
See you later. Bye-bye.